Charity blown away by support after Chappell Roan donation. A charity supporting artists' mental health says it's been blown away by the support it's had since Chappell Roan called for better rights for musicians at the Grammys. The Pink Pony Club hitmaker donated $25,000, £20,000, to Backline, a US-based charity, after an emotional speech on stage as she collected her award for Best New Artist. Charity director Hilary Gleeson has told BBC Newsbeat there's been a surge of further support after criticism of a column by a music executive which described Chappell's speech as misinformed. "We really appreciate her using that moment to call for action to change the music industry," she says. Monday was Backline's single biggest fundraising day, she says, with artists including Charli XCX and Jana-Ojana matching Chappell's contribution. A lot of others have followed suit, Hilary says, citing donations from global touring companies and promoters. Hilary feels Chappell is taking it one step further than a speech, but she'll need more support to make sure there is sustained change. "This is a movement, and it's gonna take every single person in the industry calling for this. So we're really excited to be at the forefront of this conversation right now, but it's going to be a long game," she says. During her speech, Chappell reflected on her own experience when she was dropped by her label during the pandemic, saying she struggled to find a job and could not afford health insurance. Hilary says while success in the music industry looks different for everyone, Chappell's experience isn't uncommon. "It's not always an informed process as you're getting into contracts at the start of your career, so it can be really isolating," she says. "Touring can also put a strain on artists," she adds. "That lifestyle involves a lot of time away from home. It can be really hard on relationships. There's often a lot of substance use, so touring professionals have a really hard road ahead of them." Help us make changes. Singer Jeff Draco says he could really relate to the issues Chappell raised in her speech. "It's really tough being independent and when you're not backed by a major label," the 24-year-old from Washington, D.C. tells Newsbeat. When he first started performing 6 years ago, Jeff says he really struggled with his mental health but didn't have anyone to turn to for support. "Things can feel really heavy when it's your main passion and it's like, this is the thing I love the most, why is it painful right now?" Backline offers support to workers across the industry, from artists down to tour bus drivers, with access to financial aid as well as well-being services, but both Jeff and Hilary think the industry needs more radical change. Hilary says it's hard to map out the charity's vision for the future because it looks different than anything that's existed before, but broadly they want support from the first day you start in the music industry until the day you retire, for U.S. artists. That includes access to healthcare, and Jeff says he'd also like to see more structural support from labels, including things like mentoring for emerging artists. A report in 2023 by the Help Musicians charity found artists in the UK also face similar challenges to their American counterparts. He found a lack of sustainable income was a barrier to the careers of 44% of artists who took part in their survey, and 23% said they were unable to support themselves or their families. However, a column in The Hollywood Reporter, written by music executive Jeff Rabin, made the argument that labels aren't charities and artists are not traditional employees. He branded Chappell disingenuous because she's profiting from the industry she's calling out. Posting on her Instagram story after announcing her donation, Chappell said sharing my personal experience on a Grammy stage wasn't meant to be a crowdfunded band-aid. But a call to action to the leaders of the industry to step up, help us make real change, she said. Chappell also challenged Jeff Rabin to match her donation. However, he has not responded to requests from Newsbeat about this.